right, today we're going to go over 4.03, which is the verb estar. So estar is the verb that means to be. Remember, you've already learned one verb that means to be, and that is ser. So yes, they are both translated the same way, but you have to use them in different circumstances. You can't just randomly decide, am I going to use es or estar? What do you feel like? There's certain rules of when you use one and when you use the other. So the verb estar is how we're going to say is or am or are. Okay, is, am, or are. And so we're going to look at, you know some of these already. Remember one of the very first things you learned was ¿Cómo estás? Meaning how are you? It's not just how are you, it is how are you feeling, okay? So in this case, we're learning about estar to mean where something is or how someone is feeling, okay? So this little phrase right here is a great way to remember how you feel and where you are. Always use the verb estar, okay? So you've already learned some of these forms, but you might need a little refresher. You already should know está and estás and estoy, okay? But we're going to go ahead and remember, we're going to practice these different forms. So if you're going to say I am, like I am happy or I am in school, if you're talking about where something is, where you are, or how you're feeling, you're going to say yo estoy. Tú estás would be you are. So you are at school, or you are happy, or are you? It's a question also. So tú estás. If you're going to say what he or she is feeling, or if you're going to say where he or she is, and it's just one person, it'd be él, ella, or usted está. Notice these accents here. Those are important, so make sure you have those on your quizzes and tests. And if you don't remember how to do the accents by now, you should know, but if you don't remember, go up to the lessons, go to lesson 1. I believe it's under trip preparations. The information is there, or you can Google it. Google is a wonderful thing. All right, if you're going to say we are at school, we are at home, we are at the hospital, etc., you're going to say nosotros estamos. You are, this is the plural you. Notice it's in parentheses because we're not really using that in this course, but you still should know it exists. It's estáis. But more importantly, in this course, you would use, to say you plural, you would use están. So to say y'all are, in other words, or they are, you're going to say están. Okay? You're going to go through, I would write some of these examples down. That's the vocabulary that you need to kind of use. So sad right here, tristes. If you're feeling bad, it's mal. Okay, if you're at school, it's escuela. If you're at the office, it's oficina. So there's a bunch of vocabulary in here that you will need to know to do your assignment. We're going to go ahead and click on the next tab. And of course, you're going to open up your work file and you're going to go ahead and do the practice activity. First, you've got matching, and then you've got fill in the blank, and at the very end, you're going to have sentences. Pay extra attention to these sentences, and when you're finished, make sure you check your answers. The answers to these sentences and how you answer sentences or questions like this are very important, because a lot of times that is what you're going to do in the oral part of or in the assessment part of the exam, or in the assignment. So go ahead and we're going to look here. You've got two things. We've got a voice activity, which you're going to answer the question. So this is a voice activity. It says you will need to record yourself reading 5 of your 10 sentences from part C of the work file. Okay, so you go back to that work file and you pick any 5 of those sentences and you're going to record your answers. You need to make sure that each one has a different subject. So you can't just say, estoy triste, estoy en mi casa, estoy da 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 da. That's what that means. You have to mix it up. You have to say an I, you have to say a he, you have to have a brother, you have to have something plural. So you need to mix those up, okay? And then again, down here, you've got your writing activities, okay? So, ¿dónde está Petra? Okay? If Petra es una profesora, where do you think Petra would be? Okay, so you'd say she is at school, for example. Okay, so you're going to read this first part to get a hint of how you're going to answer that second part. Okay, so those are the 2 assessments. Buena suerte, good luck.